The eyes of the political world will be on Iowa tonight as residents there take part in the Republican presidential caucus.
And among the journalists there is CBS's Scott Pelley. Earlier, I had an opportunity to chat with Scott, and I asked him why this caucus is so important.
Well, they're important because they're first. That's the most significant reason, I think. We're going to have actual voters going and casting actual ballots regarding these candidates. No more polling is getting done by news organizations, so to speak. It's the actual poll that matters, and that is the votes of the voters. So because it's first, we're going to be focused on it. That gives a candidate a lot of momentum coming out of Iowa. Iowa does not always pick the nominee of the Republican Party, but it does about half the time. And of course, with the New Hampshire primary coming up next week, followed by South Carolina the week after that, candidates begin to develop some momentum, and that momentum begins here in Iowa.
And it's sort of a weeding out process, I assume. It's been said there's only 3 tickets out of Iowa.
3 tickets out of Iowa. That's right, Mark. First, second, and third. And that is not always the case. Of course, John McCain, memorably in the last election cycle, of course, did not place first, second, or third, and yet won the Republican nomination. Like I said, Iowa's not always an accurate predictor, but it is about half the time. So the candidates really want to come in first, second, and third. Mitt Romney, of course, I think is highly likely to be in one of those positions. Some of the other candidates that haven't been polling as well really want to grab onto that third place win or even second place so they can have credibility with fundraisers as they go into New Hampshire.
And you are in a beautiful location. Where are you?
Isn't this an incredible room? They don't build them like this anymore. I'm in the state capitol in Des Moines under the beautiful golden dome of the Iowa Capitol building. And this room is the law library, and it's just fantastic with wrought iron spiral staircases. You can see one of them behind me. It is a remarkable room.
And this is your first real presidential campaign covering as the anchor and managing editor of the CBS Evening News. You looking forward to it?
I am. You know, I've covered a lot of presidential campaigns as a reporter out in the street, but covering it as an anchorman and as the managing editor, this is my very first one. So I'm looking forward to that. But fortunately, all of the people who are working with me here at CBS News, Bob Schieffer and many others, this is not their first rodeo. And so we're going to have complete coverage here that I think is going to be the best in the country. I hope you'll agree.
And it begins now and runs for the next 11 months or so. It's going to be a long journey.